Just as Madam mentioned and Sir mentioned, we have noted down all the points. It was just here and there. First one was the IoT and fire alert systems, right? Second part on the coming with the idea of legal system. Ideation of legal system, it is good. Only there are few missings are there, but really it is going to be a viable project. That project you can take it to the Ministry of Law and you can open a startup for that. Really good idea, because you can take it to central level or state level at least. Through the state level also you can approach it.
Presenting our major project Smart Street, where smart street lights think, detect and protect. So rapid urbanization and growing need for the intelligent public safety system. We are introducing the Smart Street, where it protects, and when it comes to traditional street lights, it operates manually, where it leads to the more energy consumption, and there is no immediate fault detection and structural failure detection, and there is no. When it comes to our Smart Street, it is an IoT based smart street lighting system which mainly focuses on fault detection, energy efficiency and structural. So one is the energy efficiency. Energy efficiency, right? When we compare our project with traditional street lights, traditional street lights consume 100% of the energy. It doesn't behave with the environment. When it comes to our smart street, our street light will light whenever there is a movement of the object or the people, and with respect to the environment ambient, it will blink, it will light up to the 100%. Whenever there is no need of lightning, it will light only for the 30%. By this we consider traditional, when compared to traditional street light and our smart street, there is a huge energy efficiency. And the second thing we are focusing is on fault detection. In traditional street lights, there is a manual help for street lights to always show, maintain the smart street, maintain the street light, whether it is working or not, whether it has a proper voltage or power supply. When it comes to our smart street project, we don't need any manual help. Whenever there is a fault detection in sensors as well as the pole structure, it will send the SMS to the municipal authority, saying that this respective pole is having any sensor problem or a voltage issue or the structure fault in the pole. It will send via SMS to the municipal authority. And the third thing we are focusing on disaster management. So we are focusing on earthquakes and the gas and smoke leakages. Whenever there is an earthquake occurred, it will detect the threshold value. If the threshold value is more than the limit, it will send the SMS to the residents as well the authorities, saying that this area is under danger and people stay in the safe places, and authorities will ensure the safety of the residents. And the fourth thing is, but few sensors not to be built in every street light. In module we need for smart street purpose to go for disaster management. How much it will give the correct thing to the.
Why you want to combine two solutions into a single
thing?
one?
That too in one street light. People will mostly roam on the road, sir. So that street will light.
Then smoke detection or earthquake detection and all, I can have one for this. I can deploy it as a separate entity. Why do I need to put it on the same circuit?
Sir, basically, like most of the accidents occur during night time, sir. Like for ensuring the public safety, like if any person is not present in that place, in that street, but So that streetlights may help them.
You said we can build another.
No question on the street lights. It is only on the other sensors like smoke detection or earthquake. Why do we need it for the street lights?
You are forgetting about cost. It has to information directly go to where municipality. You think about the internet connection, how much bandwidth I can provide.
We are going
Inside the house, I can have a gas sensor. Outside,
That's
why
also
do we
will come.
need so many gas sensors? Right? So many earthquake sensors. We don't need it, right? So we can have for a single locality based. Okay, title wise also, think, detect and alert. It is not a protect.
That is IoT-based fire detection alert system. So the reason I wanted to work on this project is because of the fire accidents that have been increasingly common, which has the potential to damage a life and also a property. So if we observe in most of the main reason was the delay of detecting the fire at an early stage. So we wanted to implement a system that can detect the fire at an early stages and also alert people to save them. So our system uses ESP32 microcontroller, which is connected with multiple sensors. And these sensors would continuously monitor the environment and send the data to the microcontroller. So once any abnormal condition is detected, it would immediately buzzer the alarm and also send an SMS to the user's smartphone using GSM. And also it would send the alert notification to the nearest fire station. So this is making our system more reliable and cost efficient. Before we design our system, we try to analyze the drawbacks in the existing system and the problems that are facing by the people. The most important thing is the outdated technology. So, like most of the existing systems were of single sensors and they delayed fire after it has already started to spread. So it has a high possibility of having high damage. And the second thing is that we don't really have alert notifications, remote alert notifications. That means if let's imagine if there's no one at home and if the fire has suddenly broke out, then if we aren't aware of that situation, so we really need that alert notifications to our smartphone so that we get to know. And here is the smart system architecture.
Overall, the system architecture is defined as the environmental continuously monitors it and those sensors. Here we use multiple sensors to detect the smoke and the combustible gases and the temperatures and connected to the ESP microcontroller, ESP32 microcontroller. In ESP32 microcontroller is the brain of the system, which controls the whole system, and it monitors everything. And if there is a danger situation, and it controls the system. Here we have the buzzer, alert mechanism as a buzzer and the red LED and relay module. Buzzer function is a it was going to stop in industry signal state. Automatically it is opening with the IoT. Okay, na? Still you didn't spoke about IoT. You are speaking about only sensor. Where is the IoT? No IoT is operating the releasing mechanism of carbon dioxide. By that the equipment gets open. By that itself mechanism developed. You are still in the lab. Where is the explanation of IoT? One is talking about the sensor. Where you are applying IoT?
My question is also the same.
IoT.
also documents and certificates. Once you enter the information, it cannot be changed, fake or delete. That's why it is more secure. And we can't keep the certificate, and it is more transparent. For every certificate there is a hash code and it will generate them.
So coming to the process, first the user will interact with the application to request a certificate or to submit the details. Then the input data is sent to the server and it creates a hash hash data of the certificate data, and it stores in the smart contract in blockchain. Now coming to the institution side, the institution will use a validation portal to create and validate a certificate. Then it is compared to the QR code which is stored in the smart contract. If the both data is similar and matched, then it will show the certificate is validated. Or else the validation process fails.
Why do we need blockchain for the certificate verification?
So security purposes.
What security you need?
Sir, nowadays they are making fake documents. Once we enter every certificate, that will be more secure. For every certificate, there is a unique hash code. By scanning the QR code, we can see all the certificates.
And blockchain
QR code generation doesn't need a blockchain. Right? QR code generation doesn't need a blockchain.
blockchain technology. We don't know nothing about. We don't know about blockchain technology. So we want to discover and we want to know about this technology. So we have chosen this topic.
You should not say that I don't know. Now you are arguing that I know. And you are saying that I don't know blockchain. It is controversy raised. Everybody is without know.
Initially I thought you are referring from a web certification or security certification.
We thought that you know particular blockchain because you are talking about hash mechanism. How it is different.
How do you generate the unique code?
Generate the readable text into ciphertext.
Our college does not have any structured system wherein students, alumni and placement can collaborate with each other. So we were thinking of stepping up and doing this for them because I have talked to the coordinator sir and we usually take rent, we usually subscribe to the existing platforms. So we thought we could make one for the college. It basically has 3 modules. What they are doing, and they can come into alumni. They can post any job openings or internships, and they would have their own individual wall, and students can communicate with the alumni, ask them doubts, and every alumni's LinkedIn profile will be provided there, and the TNP cell would be the admin there, what they can post and everything. This is how the works. These are the collaborators in the platform. And also, GWT security will be provided because we will have phone numbers and job profiles there. So when somebody wants to register, that request should be accepted by chat because not everybody can be put up on the platform. And we would also have APIs for LinkedIn. And we're going to host it on the cloud and all the database will be recorded in MySQL.
How the students can
What else restrictions we are doing for alumni? Or regarding the restrictions for teaching alumni students and can you elaborate the module of the work?
So alumni would have a slightly different user interface compared to students. They would have their own wall, and any student who wishes to communicate with them would have messages on their respective wall. They can choose to reply there, or they can choose to communicate better they can put it up on the homepage. And that should also be approved by the TNP cell.
Are you categorize alumni as department wise or overall?
We were thinking year-wise, then department-wise.
How do you identify the applicant?
We are collaborating with the placement center.
It might not be getting all the
So we were thinking of sharing a Google Form to all the groups and thereby getting Ma'am, like you said, there would be JWT required, and also
Second one, why don't we apply AI module?
as of now, we are not using
AI module, like suppose you are the IT student, you are a history student, you upload your somebody already has a responsibility. So your AI agent must be able to tell you how to connect both the people. And they can send an alert to the other machine. They can you are ready. You are looking for sales across the internet in your company. And already you have a resource ready on knowledge. And they can send an alert to you and they can this is the requirement that company is getting your alert for the requirement.
మధ్యలో మొత్తం కూర్చొని
తేలా అని వాయిస్ పడుతుంది.
Poster presents our project, IoT-based smart home automation using ESP32. ESP32 is a microcontroller which we are using. We use it because it has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth facility.
నీకు వీడియో రాదురా.
Low cost. So we are using Blink application for smart phone application. So we have voice commands also, which is new because in already we referred 5 papers for reference through IEEE. We have similar projects, but in everything there are not all features. We focused on making it efficient, low cost, and making it more reliable.
Scalable, okay, fine. In what manner you are saying? Any one parameter should be there. Now, because of this, I am going to.
It's not too complicated. It can be used by everyone because we added voice.
What makes radius is complicated?
They used Raspberry Pi and Adreno.
Without that, how you sensor board and IoT?
ESP32 with like some ED part of Adreno.
Or you think that ESP32 is not having any configurations of Arduino board? You can't have full knowledge. Arduino board is Raspberry Pi lekunda మీ IoT device ki information ఎవరు పంపుతారు?
Ma'am, we are replacing Raspberry Pi with ESP32.
Okay, Raspberry Pi is replacing ESP32. Okay, fine. What is the replacement making of your cars?
So cost with the Raspberry Pi, with the previous one created the commercial projects with 10,000, 20,000. In this we use in like 1,500 to 2,000.
Okay. So in that aspect you are securing your cars.
Yes.
What about IoT mechanism?
IoT mechanism, I will tell you the section. So, what exactly happens here is here is the end user. End user, like he uses an application, Blinkit app, or by the voice control, he can ask you like take an example of switch on off a bulb, turning on of a bulb. When he says turn on the bulb, through the application it goes to the cloud platform. After the cloud platform, ESP32 have the inbuilt Wi-Fi network. It goes through the Wi-Fi.
This is the question. When you are going for IoT, whether I go for my conventional switches Yes or not?
Yes.
Everything is
Ma'am,
no
we have
software.
we have added that feature also. When net is not working or we have issue with this machine, we can also use the normal daily.
And it is actually semi-automated. It is not fully automated. We are working on it, so we want to make it fully automated.
For lower, I will come to the key point. Cloud security, enhancement, random forest mechanism, support recognition. When I am small age onwards, it is that. Okay, baby, don't get depressed. These are all the things you have to argue when you are going for external purpose. Okay, now tell me, in random forest, STM, by using both the things, how you are overcoming your previous constraints. In the previous project, the cloud mechanism, whichever was there, which was already existing, it was restricted to only one cloud environment. When this system gets deployed in any other cloud environment, like when a person shifts from one cloud environment to another, there's a high chance that his data might be lost or his data might be attacked with some cyber threats or something. So to make it compatible, to make it more neutralized over various cloud environments, we have introduced the usage of these machine learning algorithms. The title should be accordingly. Yes, multi-platform అంటూ ఉండాలి. Normal గా just you have given cloud security in మాత్రమే ఇచ్చారు.
Ma'am, actually it is an existing one. We have enhanced.
What are you doing? That only number you have to present.
So your proposed system, you have put it here, enhanced framework. That should come here.
Come there in the title.
Enhanced framework.
In what manner you are saying multi-cloud kada? At least you have add.
Correct,
That's
that
why
is the
you
title,
are
no?
saying.
That
See,
is the
you are
title.
telling your proposed na. Your proposed title should be the.
What is the project title? Project title means whatever you are going to do.
ఆ టైటిల్ అక్కడ ఉన్నదా? లేదు కదా? మీకు అర్థమైందా? మీరు ఏం చేస్తున్నారో అదే ఇక్కడ పెట్టాలి. పాతది ఎవరు అడిగారమ్మా? ఇట్ ఇస్ ఆల్రెడీ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్. దట్స్ వై బై సీయింగ్ దిస్ ఐ గేవ్ ద ఫస్ట్ కమెంట్.
Whatever gap analysis you did, that gap analysis should be your project title.
That output is given to the SPM machine. Here what happens is SPM classifies the output given by the random forest into two parts. Whether it is the data is the user is authorized, can access be given to that user or not? Is it high risk or low risk? If the risk, after that output is given to cognitive layer, what cognitive layer does? 75% of detecting the threats. And here in our project we are working to get 90 to 95% in
College name top. College name bottom, number one. Number two, whatever proposed system must be your title, not the existing system. That is number two. Number three, GPT generated image. When you generated it, spelling system one, do double checking. Self-learning MEC mechanism. This is a GPT generated text.
actually I have
Take the images from the mythological books like Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, and also for our text and user queries. It gives answers from the mythological books. Like if the user query is about I see God today, it takes the relevant context from the mythological books and says like Arjuna was in the same situation and the Krishna advised him like this. You motivate the user and it gives a guidance. It gives the wisdom from the mythological books. So first the user gets which new the query.
devotional. Happened or not happened, from the mythology, how do you feel the suggestion like very well? What is that? You have to believe that it is true. You are saying divine and you are saying for everything we have to go for science. So all the science we are having answers in there. Accordingly you have to project it. It's not only for emotional purposes. It is for science, it is for medical, it is for everything. So put it there. So whatever the devotional books you are having, train your
normally with the idea of our we just drawn with our
So whenever we put something here, we should just spell checks also you have to do it. See it like a spelling check. Spelling This will be part of the answer. That precautions you want to
to provide exact based on a semantic search. Here, I use it is a combination of vector embeddings, chromatography, LangChain, and LLM. I mean, it is knowledge to provide a context-aware answer. I generally provide a template so that initially user will upload his documents and all the documents are stored as they are converted into vector embeddings and stored in the chromatography. And by that, user will create a model so that model can be accessed by the whole entire organization. It is an organization domain-specific model. When a user asks query, it retrieves the exact information using semantic search and provides the exact context-aware answer. Here I will explain to you about system architecture. User interacts with the front end, and here there are main three flows: modular, pipeline. First, initially user must provide the documents so that all they are converted into vector embeddings and stored in ChromaDB. And here semantic retrieval is and when user asks Q&A or query, the semantic retrieval is provided to the LLM and it provides a responsive generation answer. I use OpenAI or Ollama or any other LangChain models to generate the required answer. Generally, I can explain you the workflow in this way. Here, when the query is given, either lexical search and semantic search both are done, and a combination of this is merged together. And this is provided to the LLM model, so it provides the required answer based on the given document. The main usage is it is mostly organization-specific domain, so that here user authentication is also provided. Like when user provides documents, so that the entire organization have access to the same bot we have created. So and we can store huge amount of data, like huge amount of documents and files, so that only context-aware answers are provided. My friend will continue to
where the users can chat with the system and the admin can upload the documents in it and it extracts and is done by using the
Python library. The pre-processing the noises will be eliminated and it divided into small pieces or chunks, and those chunks are converted into embeddings, and those are stored in the probability. And the user asks the question semantic answer, and the user can see on its screen. Coming to the technologies we use it, in the front end we use it Streamlit, and the back end the Python language of for metadata we use it MongoDB, and the handling just design models. And we have considered project document question system can able to give semantic answers for when a user asks the questions, and it gives privacy and smart and easy to access. So these are the differences we have.
All these are coming out to so that you can use it
now explaining
Yes, here the general I have explained system architecture. I have
It will give me the camera fit, and on that I will apply the Euro V8 model, and that will predict what's happening, what's not happening, what's not happening.
HTTP for what purpose?
Sorry?
No. Sir is asking the question now, how do you capture the HTTP support for text protocol, for text only, na? For linking purpose.
There is one more protocol that is called as RSTP. We can use either HTTP or RSTP. AI module we are applying on the camera feed. We are using computer vision, YOLO vision. That will tell us, that will detect the fire. Thing that is not being done in the industrial scenarios right now. Right? They are using thermal cameras. The best thing that you could do when you are considering camera feed and all those, you could use thermal cameras, but they are quite expensive. So what we thought is, instead of using thermal cameras, we use thermal image translation. We'll use a software which will translate the normal camera feed into thermal one, so that based on that we can predict. And in our system we have two models now. Like one is AI based, one is IoT based. The data from
What is the
here.
help your system is getting from AI?
AI, it's seeing what's happening with the camera. It's detecting. It can identify just looking at the camera feed, so that it can be prevented before it causes a big fire accident. So we get the data from this module, and it goes in the fusion unit. Like we'll combine both the layers, their to one source of things. We are using these two modules, their two results. Based on those results, we'll classify the risk into two categories: high risk triggers and low risk. For low risk, we'll just initiate a pre-alarm so that the nearby people can identify it and look over. And if automatically, we don't have to intervene, no human have to do anything. It will detect, it will do on its own job, and it will directly call and send the location to, so that the fire helpline can reach fire brigade. It can reach at that location very quickly and help out the situation. We are using LED, so it would be cost effective.
Why don't you CCTV camera?
Mobile camera is for the demo purpose. When we are taking the demo, when we build the prototype, we'll be using our own mobile phone camera. We can even use ESP32 camera module that is having a very bad quality, and it won't, as I said, I'm going to apply thermal image translations and all. That won't be possible on that quality, on that resolution. That's why I'm using mobile phone camera for the demo purpose.
the flood? Yes, I am coming to that point. First, rain occurs. Rain sensor will predict how much rain intensity is there, how much mm is there. Then, based on that, our using machine learning models will know that how likely it is to be for the drain to be filled. Okay. Then next, we use the ultrasonic sensor there to know the water level. If it is crossing a threshold level, where will transfer the water to another junction, another pipe. So where the water level is low, will transfer to that pipe, to that junction. So based on that, what we are doing is preventing the.
You are not preventing flood.
No,
You
we
are
diverting.
I can't prevent the
No,
flood.
and what I'm saying
The
is-
damage can be prevented.
Yeah. The thing is, we are preventing the drainage to be flooded from that. So, and also, if even though we are diverting, if like a flood
Over
occurs,
level cane means we can't do because your drainage system also having some certain levels of diverting the flow.
Yes.
So when it is happening like this, your 2021,
Yeah,
na,
like this.
nobody can stop it.
Yeah.
So you can do for your level pressure.
and what we can do is we can know where the problem has occurred with this system. Like,
They involve activities like online scams, cyber frauds, and also spreading misinformation. The most existing fake profile detection systems use traditional methods. So they involve activities like they use passwords, usernames, or repeated patterns. So the modern fake profiles cannot be detected using those. So to overcome this challenge, our project took machine learning, natural language processing, and also large language like writing style, user behavior, and also content authentication. By this, we can find the hidden patterns so that we can tell that it is a fake profile or an AI generated. So, the main objective of our project is to make a smart, accurate, and reliable system which it solves the problem of fake profiles.
So the only option is for us to ask what is your previous and what is the modification you did for that. Suppose already fake detection is
we are managing all these flood water. Actually, we have two types of drainage. One is for sewage, there all the distribution route, and one is for stormwater. So we are working on stormwater, not the sewage. We are working on stormwater. Yeah. So, first of all, if any blockage happens, if any overflow happens or flood occurs, manual inspection needs to be done. Where the municipality workers need to come, they have to inspect the drain, where the drain is. Then we have to identify, first of all, they have to identify the drain. First they have to identify the drain, then next they have to check which drain, where it is leading, and the junction, everything, they have to check it. So what we are doing, what my project is doing is we are monitoring. First we are, what we are doing in this project, we are alerting, we are monitoring, and we are managing. Alerting, monitoring, managing are all combined in this one, it is not existing. So in the references which I have taken, in each of the references, these are all not combined at all. In this one, smart drainage, they have used IoT, sensors, and alert system. In this one, they have used for cleaning, where the blockage sensors are used to monitor the water level, how fast it may flow, how fast the water level will rise, then flow rate, to detect whether the blockage has occurred in any pipe, and is it flowing in the usual rate when rain occurs. For example, if 16 mm per hour rain occurs in Hyderabad, so there should be some flow rate in the drainage to not cause to not to be caused a flooded. So, and then intensity. Just it is to know that how much to analyze, to like predict how much rain intensity is there and how long it will take for drainage to fill up with the rain intensity. For example, during the if it is said that for 32 mm per hour, it may cause a flood. So we can know the rain intensity by using the rain sensor. So we are predicting how long it will take to fill up the drain. The next blockage, to detect the blockage and all, we are using. Then it will be sent to the ESP32. We can use.
okay, all the things are
First, we have to place it at junction point. So junction point is.
so every street end on the
Yeah.
and every meeting point on
Yeah. So flood won't occur in the upstream. It will occur in the downstream. So we are targeting downstream where the junction points are there and which are likely to be caused, which are likely to be flooded. It will be sent to the cloud through ThingSpeak and all. Then
I have the degree and
no, ma'am, that's why we are using 832. So Wi-Fi will through Wi-Fi the data will be sent to the dashboard to cloud platform. Actually, through sensors we have that it costs crores of rupees for
so for that purpose, just I'm asking, in that area I need a Wi-Fi. That way it should not be accessed by anybody.
it should be authorized by the government itself. So then to the dashboard we are putting some
See, for this, I will do one solution for you.
yes,
Instead of paying for Wi-Fi,
yeah,
you are having ad hoc network.
ad hoc network, yes,
Okay?
yeah.
Ad hoc network mechanism incorporate in that inner sensor and the street. So even though it is in the drainage also, network will be ad hoc network. So you just analyze that.
Okay.
So without making your Wi-Fi cost, you can cut off it because your FM radio is there. It will work for underground also.
Okay.
It will not work for long distance, but it will work for underground. So that frequency will take care. So using that frequency, send the data to the nearest pole. From there, it has to go to nearest pole. So you can cut off the cost of Wi-Fi for the government. Okay? Use the frequency of ad hoc network, but you should do more research on that.
Yeah, ad hoc network, how to manage it.
Managing that system because you are having it will support for underground.
The first thing is accuracy. Basically, the number of things are there.